Well, good evening and welcome to the show that doesn't quit unless you ask us to, and we still keep coming back for more. This is the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. It's right here. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner, Brian, the Ranger Retard. Brian, how are you today?
I am phenomenal, glorious. I'm all kinds of wonderful, great things.
Well, you better be, because we're live tonight. So,
We are
and that's a
live.
beautiful thing. So, a lot to cover tonight, Brian. A lot to cover. Talk a little World Series tonight, some other things. But first, we are going to get to a little NFL news. We're going to talk about the Fast and Furious trade action yesterday. And one of the trades yesterday was a big shocker to both of us.
Yeah.
Kelvin Benjamin from Carolina was sent. That's right. Kelvin Benjamin was sent to the Buffalo Bills yesterday. And on the line with us to start the show is our Carolina affiliate, Monty Fetti Jr. Monty, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Well, we're doing good. Hopefully that's good. He didn't jump off a bridge yet, so that's a good
Well,
thing.
I mean, I guess that's a positive for sure.
That's exactly it. So, Monty, let's get right to it. What is going on in Carolina? What brought this on? Any idea? What's the news down there?
Man, it's a little crazy here in Charlotte. From everything that I've read and just seen, I think it was more of Carolina kind of wanted to make a youth play. You know, wanted to get younger, faster guys on the field. You know, his contract year is coming next year, so I think the money aspect of it was part of us wanting to will and deal him. And you know, I just believe that the team believes that they function a little better with Funches at the one, and you know, the little younger guys at other positions. So I think that kind of more forced it than anything.
Do you think that is this them giving up on the season at all? I mean, they got a nice haul. I felt for Kelvin Benjamin, a third-round pick and a seventh-round pick. It's kind of interesting because we kind of thought Buffalo would be the team giving up on the season.
Yeah, exactly.
These roles kind of appear reversed right now, but I guess that's question one. But question two, you know, Cam has had an interesting couple of weeks here. He's been the center of controversy. He has not played well. He wants to tell people about routes, then can't hit a guy on any kind of routes. He likes
Walking
to
out of press conferences.
leave press conferences. You know, this is not, I think, a month that Cam Newton will look back on fondly. What in the blue hell's going on down there, brother? I need to know from the ground level what's going on in Carolina, because it from the outside looking in, it looks like a big mess right now.
Well, brother, I tell you the truth, I think a lot of us fans are saying the same thing. You know, it's definitely cause for concern for us. You know, it goes back to firing Dave Gettleman a week before camp.
Yeah.
You know, so all year I believe we've made questionable calls, and it's, you know, kind of worked in our favor. As for saying, are we giving up on the season? It's a little early to find out, man. You know, because we're 5-3. 2 games behind New Orleans, and you know, it's still a lot of things aren't looking as bad. But you know, when you trade your number one receiver away for guys who, for the most part, have never even been a starter in the NFL, it kind of questions what's going on in the front office. But man, you know, I believe just how bad the way the offense has looked as of late. I think that kind of is another big thing, and I just, you know, I think the shock value or the shock part of it is kind of what a lot of people are looking at. And I'm not too fond of trading Kelvin Benjamin, but if I'm all for it, if it, you know, if it works for the offense, then yeah, let's go out and see what the offense do. I'm also kind of skeptical about Devin Funches, because now Devin Funches, you have to be the bell cow now.
That's right.
And do I believe he's that guy? You know, it's remains to be seen. You know, so you guys, we're just as shocked and surprised as everybody else, man.
Yeah. So my last question to you, Monty, down there is, yeah, you know, Olsen was lost early in the season. He may come back. There's rumors that he's coming back from that injury. They do have Funches. Benjamin's gone now. Where does this leave Carolina? Like you said, they're 2 games behind, chasing a New Orleans team who looks like they have it together and is playing well. Do you think Carolina can get their act together with a loss of a guy like Benjamin and still make a run for the title, if not the playoffs?
Absolutely. I mean, but you know, it's bad as I said. As the offense looked, the defense has looked amazing. You know, and with the defense like that, you know, just 2 years ago, you saw Denver make the playoffs with an amazing defense and a subpar offense.
Yeah.
So if and I hate to say because those are the teams that beat us, but I hate to say we look a lot like the 2015 Denver Broncos. Offense looked horrendous, but defense was lights out. And I believe the lack of turnovers for the defense is the only thing that's kind of hindering us from being a 6-2 team. So right now, I think that I had to see on Sunday. It may be a completely different story. But as of right now, taking my bias out of it, I think Carolina has the pieces defensively to turn it around. If the offense, and people also forget we have 2 games where Cam threw 75%, completion percentage and scored 30 points and put 30 on New England, put 30 on Detroit.
Yep.
So is it possible? I definitely believe so, man. It's just, but you can't have one game where you throw 75% and then the next game where you throw 50%. And that's what we've been looking at all year. So I have to see it. I'm one of those guys I have to see it to believe it. And right now, offensively, I'm kind of nervous. But I think we have the pieces to pull at least pull the playoff first. I definitely think we can back ourselves into the playoffs.
Well, we will soon see. It'll be very interesting. I'm sure we'll get Monty back on here once Carolina gets into playoffs. Well, if they get
maybe,
we will see. So, Monty, we want to appreciate you, pal, jumping on such short notice and giving us a little bit of what's going on in the Carolina area. We will talk to you soon, my friend.
Well, brother, I appreciate it, man.
Hey, peace, love, and happiness, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Monty.
All right.
So that's it. So what do you think, Carolina?
They're behind the 8 ball. This Saints team looks legit, you know? I mean, and you talk. We made fun of the Saints, in the offseason. We talked about, what the Bucs were going to do. I mean, listen, let's call it what it is. They haven't played very well.
No, the defense has been horrible.
No, Atlanta is Jekyll and Hyde. Seriously, they're you don't know what you're going to get every week. I mean, New Orleans might be the cream of this division, and it's kind of crazy to think like that. But again, Carolina has some issues. I don't think they helped themselves. Right? Obviously, they didn't get anything that's going to help their rosters right now. I can't see them as a playoff team. Can you?
No. I mean, I think that the Olsen injury hurt him in the beginning.
A lot.
And now you're going to have to go in the rest of the season without Olsen. Well, not the rest of the season, but you don't have Olsen right now, and you don't have your number one receiver. I mean, you can't rely on Funchess to get this job done.
Well, here's the thing about Funchess, and Monty was, I think, alluded to this, is, he's got to place number one corners now. He doesn't have Kelvin Benjamin on the other side of the field drawing coverage away from him, which gives him some more openings.
Correct.
I want to see if he can do it. A lot of these receivers, Mike, you see him take over this number one spot, and they're terrible because they're used to facing secondary coverage, not the main guy on the other team.
Okay.
So,
we'll see. That should be very interesting about that. So, in the other news we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the World Series. And please, folks out there watching us right now, number one, we really appreciate it. Keep tuning in to our live stuff. We'll give you as much content as we can. Right into us. Let us know. Brian's man.
I'm watching the chat room. So
Brian's man in the chat room. Right in. Tell us we're doing a good job. You want to interact with us about the World Series. Tell us we're crazy. Tell us we're wrong. But, So, let's talk about the World Series, Brian. This has been an interesting World Series.
Yeah.
A lot of people said it's going to be over in 5, 6. Here we are at Game 7.
Yep.
It should be. And last night, especially with Verlander pitching.
Yeah.
You thought Verlander was going to go in like he did in the last series, just go lights out, shut them down. And in the 6th inning, got a little squirrely. Let LA get in front, and then they took over from there.
I think the thing about this is I know that Houston's a feel good story. I don't feel very good about it. I'm a Yankee fan, but the point is,
Hater.
Well, whatever. I think this is a scenario where Houston had the lead last night.
Yep.
And they had a chance to put them away and win a championship.
And they didn't.
I don't know if they're going to be able to win this game in Dodger Stadium. I really don't. The Dodgers have been the best team in baseball all year, and it's not a shot against Houston, but they're going to be able to throw a lot more. I mean, you're going to see Clayton Kershaw part in this game. I can almost guarantee that. For me, and it's been a great series. I think for baseball purists, they've really enjoyed it. I think the Dodgers win this one. I think the home field makes a big difference. Again, I think Houston didn't give them the kill shot when they could have. So if they want to go thumbs down to the Yankees, I'm going to go thumbs down to the Astros. Dodgers win the World Series.
I do want to say a funny stat I heard today. It's amazing that the Lakers won yesterday and the Dodgers won yesterday. It was the first time a playoff team in LA and the first time an LA team both won on the same day.
Well, that's because the Dodgers never make it this far.
That's
That's pretty much what it is.
That's true. So
How'd the Kings do? They look terrible.
Yeah, the Kings look good. Did they win a game against the Bruins?
They did.
0.9 seconds, folks. If you caught that one, that's unbelievable.
Brandon Gazzara, Dodgers win. Kershaw pitched the last 3 innings and cements his legacy. I can't disagree with you, man.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very possible.
Yep.
Again, the Dodgers were the best team in baseball coming in the entire time.
Yep.
So, it's in a way, it's nice to see the best teams win because it doesn't always happen in baseball.
Exactly. Yep.
We'll see where it goes. Football, huh?
What? Football.
We talk football on the show?
We sometimes do.
On occasion?
On occasion. Do you want to talk a little NHL?
No. Wait, no.
We could talk a little NHL.
Did Elaine Vigneault get fired?
The Elaine video clock is ticking.
Did he get fired?
No.
Then I don't want to talk about hockey.
No. You know what? He almost did after the Tuesday night loss to Las Vegas, or the Tuesday night win against Las Vegas.
Listen.
Those rough and tumble Golden Knights.
I don't want to talk hockey for a month right now because this is like depressing. Like you don't even know. They're about to blow the whole thing up. We'll talk about that. Today's not that day.
Yeah. All right. So in other news, let's talk. We're going to talk about your favorite sport, 76ers. So
Is that basketball?
Yes, it is. It's
That's what the
NBA basketball.
got.
Yes.
I've seen it once.
We're talking NBA basketball. The rumor, well, not the rumor, but it is reported out there that Jahlil Okafor for the Sixers wants out. He wants the Sixers to buy him out of his agreement and get out of town. You know what? I really can't blame the guy. Here's a guy who's been kind of a good soldier for the last year and a half, and they've built the process excluding him out of this bubble now. And here he comes as a bench player. And, of course, the guy's in a contract year next year. He wants to get paid. Mm-hmm. So why not get him out of his agreement, go somewhere where he wants to play, and he can make some money instead of sitting on the bench and getting minimum money.
Well, here's the thing, right?
So
So he's been rumored to be traded forever, it seems like. He was just, I don't think, ever a fit with them from the get-go. So I guess my question for, you watch a lot more basketball than I do.
Yep.
If you watch something, you watch more than I do. So
yep.
It sounds like they're not really playing it, right? That he's sitting on the bench?
No, he's coming off the bench, yeah.
Okay. So to me, wouldn't it make sense if I intend to trade a guy and get some sort of value for him, that I may want to put him in a position where somebody else who might give me assets for him can see the guy play?
Yeah, and look how long it took him to trade Noel. I mean, he was down here for a while.
Coming in, Nick Nazario. Colangelo is a moron. Okafor is a 20-10 guy in a system like the Spurs. Well, the Spurs are a winning basketball team.
I don't know. I think you're putting a little bit of high of expectation on him, which is fine. But in the same sense, he doesn't have a role here. He doesn't have... They brought him in the beginning to have the Twin Towers, to have all this size and everything, and then Fultz came into the picture, and then obviously Simmons is here, and there's really no good spot to play him. He doesn't have good chemistry with a lot of guys on the team, and that's the problem. As well, trading him for him, I think the Sixers are trying to get something too much for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the NBA, obviously, if you're in the first or second round, you get something after that. It's crap.
Well, I'm going to ask.
2 rounds.
Well, I'm going to ask you because you pay attention. So my understanding is the first overall pick that they took last year is having his rookie season now.
And is hurt.
He's hurt too.
He's hurt too. Fultz is hurt.
No, I was talking about Ben Simmons.
Oh, Ben Simmons. Yes.
So then the first round pick they took this year
was Fultz.
Isn't playing and has some issues.
Correct.
Do they draft anybody who's ever healthy?
No.
Okay.
No. They like injured guys.
They're like, I mean.
Yeah, it's a reason to keep him on the bench, and then that way Brett Brown doesn't get attacked. So and I said it if you watched A2D Radio, I said the same thing about Brett Brown. This is the year for him to get judged. I don't want to hear, oh well, his guy's hurt and this guy. He's been here long enough for this team to come together. So I don't want to hear any more about Brett Brown nothing to work with. He's got something to work with here. He does. So let's see what he can do, and let's judge him on this year. But as a way of the Okafor thing, I think the Sixers should try to buy him out or, see if they can trade him. I don't know what you're going to get for him. I really don't. I don't know if you're going to get any kind of picks for him. In the NBA, it's tough because salaries. So, it's going to be tricky. We'll see. So, hey, Cleveland Browns back in the news, in NFL news. What a surprise. They make actually, it's not a surprise. They make a move on draft day, Brian, to try to get Ajayi McCarron from Cincinnati, which... okay, is an okay move, and I'm going to get to that point in a minute why I say that. But they make a deal with McCarron. About 3 o'clock, they start talking to him. Okay? They make the deal. They get excited. They're cheering. Yeah, Cleveland's excited. The only problem is they miss the deadline. So the trade's null and void. What can you say more about this team that keeps fumbling everything in their touch?
So, what's kind of funny? I think they got saved. They were giving up a lot for freaking Ajayi McCarron.
Well, and here's a team that's desperately in need of a quarterback. But here's also a thing, and we've talked about this before.
Wait, could they have taken Carson Wentz?
They could have, and they could have taken Deshaun Watson.
Could they take it?
Yeah, twice. The problem with this team, too, is if A.J. McCarron were to go in there, he needs to stay in there for a year or 2 or 3. They can't keep jumping these quarterbacks around. We talked about it on the show, Mike Henshaw talked about it, too.
Yep.
There's been 18 different quarterbacks there in 20 years. That's ridiculous. How are you going to have anybody grow the system and learn the Cleveland way to do it and the offense if you keep shuffling a guy around?
Wait. I don't think anybody should learn the Cleveland way of doing anything.
Deshaun Kaiser's regretting it.
Listen.
But see, even that. Okay, Deshaun Kaiser.
Oh.
Okay, you want to say Deshaun Kaiser's your man? I have no problem with that right now because they're only 7 games into the season.
Yeah.
But in those 7 games, you've had Hogan in there now, going back and forth.
Again, to me, and I felt this the entire time. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Now, they don't even have any quarterbacks. I mean, you ever see that guy with the jersey, all the names?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just keep adding to it. Maybe that's the plan. You got to go with the guy and whatever happens. You're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. You're not going to sniff the playoffs. No. Why don't you see what you have with Deshaun Kaiser? Why are you going to keep going? Is Kevin Hogan going to be your long-term solution? No. Kaiser might be.
Right.
Maybe.
But you got to see what you have.
You're not right. You're not going to accomplish anything playing hot potato with these guys.
Right.
They build no rhythm, nothing with the rest of the guys in the offense.
Correct. Right. And I agree with that. And that's the thing. You keep a guy in here for 3-4 games, okay, get him out of here. Well, you're not going to have a guy step in out of college, I don't care how good he is, and run that offense. It's just not going to happen. And
not with the guys around him, no.
No, and the Deshaun Kaiser thing is blowing up his face. I mean, a perfect example is Jared Goff. You saw what happened to Fisher when he didn't put him in and throw him to the Wolves. Because he hasn't even had a year in the league yet.
But what I'll say about Goff is I think Sean McVay's had a huge impact.
I agree with that too.
But coaching matters in football probably above all else.
Right, but it also matters to take your lumps in the NFL and get acclimated to the speed.
Yes.
And he hasn't even had a year in the league yet, and look how much he's gone forward. Like you said, it is McVay. He's probably got him steered in the right direction, but it's also because he's not one he don't get sacked anymore. And he's running out of the pocket, moving around.
Nick Nazario, since he should file grievance against the Browns, they called in trade and did their end. They will never get a 2nd and 3rd for McCarron ever again. I'd be pissed if I was the Bengals. And you know what's funny? And I don't know the answer to this, Nick, but I think that the 2nd was this year. Yeah. That's a first. Okay? That's the 33rd pick.
It is just unbelievable how a team can screw this shit up every time.
Listen, give them credit. They're consistent.
Oh, my God. You Carson. And listen, I'm the one to say, okay, you passed on Carson Wentz. Yeah, you passed on a good quarterback. Who knows what Carson would have been in that system?
Carson should be thanking his lucky
He
stars.
may have gotten hurt. He may not have picked up that offense. They might have been rough with him after the 3 or 4 games and benched him.
How many players have gone to Cleveland to die? That could have been good elsewhere.
How about, do you remember Couch that went there?
Yeah. It's actually funny. So the Eagles can thank the Browns twice for Tim Couch and for not taking Carson Wentz because they got to end up with McNabb. And we talk about the Cleveland Browns. Another little tidbit out of Cleveland today is Josh Gordon, a guy who I've wasted 2nd to last round picks on Josh Gordon in fantasy leagues for the better part of 3 years. And I've never been repaid for my investment. It looks like he's back in the league. It looks like he's been reinstated. It looks like
November 27th, he will be back. For whatever reason, I don't know.
Is he back with Cleveland, or is he back
Cleveland
as a free
has
agent?
his rights. No, Cleveland has his rights.
Do we think they're going to play him?
Well, I'll ask you this: being a quarterback or being a coach of the or a general manager of Cleveland, would you?
Would I play Josh Gordon?
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, you know what the sad part about this is, right? Mm-hmm. Is they actually might have got something for him as in trade value. Mm-hmm. Not a lot, but something had this gone down before the trade deadline. Because there's wide receiver needy teams out there. Look at Buffalo and Kelvin Benjamin as a prime example. So I think that's where I don't know. I mean, if I'm Josh Gordon, anybody's going to give me a jersey to wear, I'm taking it. Mm-hmm. I haven't played football for the better part of 3 years, so.
Okay. So going reiterating things, going back to the Cleveland quarterbacks. Okay, I'm going to read you some quarterbacks that were back in the day. We're going back to 1999, folks, because I just think it's just funny. Okay, in that year we're talking Tim Couch and Ty Detmer. Okay, does that get you excited? Does that get you excited?
Probably a 1 in 15.
And then 2000, folks, you're talking Doug Peterson. That's right, the coach of the Eagles, Doug Peterson, Tim Couch, and Spurgeon Wynn. Wow, Spurgeon Wynn. You're talking Kelly Holcomb. Okay, Jeff Garcia, Luke McCown, Luke McCarron. The worst quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl, Trent Dilfer. Charlie Fry. How about Charlie Fry? I remember Charlie Fry. Derek Anderson. Brady Quinn. Who didn't love Brady Quinn? That was a great pick, wasn't it? Ken Dorsey. Brad Gradkowski. Okay. Now, this is only going back to 99.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
And I'm not even including the guys that I just said their name. They're still there. Derek Anderson. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You ready for this one? You're going to love this, folks.
I know where it's going.
Colt McCoy, Jake Delhomme, and Seneca Wallace. Wow.
A lot of talent.
Iowa State Seneca Wallace. That's great.
A lot of talent.
A lot of talent. Wait, and we're almost done. Brandon Whedon.
Yeah, he sucks.
Thad Lewis. Jason Campbell. Oh, my God.
Brandon Gazzara said Spurgeon Wynn taking over Tom Brady. Don't forget.
That's
Spurgeon Wynn drafted over Tom Brady.
His parents obviously hated him.
That's so Cleveland, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Brian Hoyer, obviously. Johnny Manziel. Hey, who said that Johnny Manziel wasn't going to work out? Wow, okay. Connor Shaw, which was here for a cup of coffee.
Who the hell's Connor? I don't even know who the hell Connor Shaw is.
Austin Davis. And Cody Kessler. And, of course, who can forget RG3?
They've wasted so many premium picks on guys who just had it on. I mean, it's actually, you have to try to miss that much.
For people keeping track at home, that's 26 different quarterbacks since 1999. That's unbelievable.
That's all.
They just cannot get this right. I don't. You get this right by accident.
Right.
Oh my God. This is just brutal. It's brutal.
All right. Well, we're talking about relevant things.
Let's talk.
And we're gonna talk NFL Week 9. But first, I want to just touch a little bit on the trades that we saw this week. Couple big ones, obviously. Ajayi going from the Dolphins to the Eagles. We had Anthony Morella, Sportsbox Eagles correspondent, shared his thoughts. Thought it was a good move for the Eagles.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said this is like a long-term move because the kid's 24. But if you remember back to his draft year, he had knee problems. That's why he fell.
Yeah. That was a combine thing that they
Yeah, I don't know if Miami doesn't know a little bit more than they're letting on about his knees. Again, for the short term, for an Eagles team that had LeGarrette Blount, who I don't think should be in the NFL. As they're starting, I mean, it's an upgrade from that standpoint, but it's not like Ajayi's been lighting the world on fire in Miami. So, I think the fantasy football and all of this needs to pump those brakes a little bit. But for a fourth round pick, and they had 3 of them, it's a low risk move. He signed for another season. If his knees blow out, what do you really?
Yeah,
what are you risking?
And you know what? For a 4th round pick, it's fine. If you're talking about trading a 1st or 2nd round pick, I mean that's a different story. No,
they didn't have it to trade.
They didn't have. They had 3 4s, so they gave him a 4th round pick, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The problem, like you said, the question I would raise, and he got a physical and all, but why would Miami get rid of a 24-year-old guy 2 years into his career?
Well, I think
are they that sour on him?
Yeah, but we've talked about this before, Mick. Running backs are a dime a dozen. It's not as if this is like some. You're not bringing in the Hall of Famer here.
No, this guy's a freight train.
The guy made the Pro Bowl. You know how many guys make the freaking Pro Bowl every year? Guys don't even want to go. They pick somebody else. I mean, come on. Let's just call it what it is. Again, is it a good move? Yeah. I mean, it's a low risk move. It's a fourth round pick.
Yeah.
But again, and I've seen a lot of Eagles fans make this case that we're not bullish on the deal. Is you're supposed to be keeping these picks to build around Carson Wentz. So
you can get a guy like that.
If Ajayi's knees don't hold up, and you kind of have to assume they're not going to because he's 24.
Yeah.
So it's not as if he's at the end of his career. That's why his knees are going out. This is a degenerative thing.
And there were rumors that he didn't practice all week to save his knees and stuff. I mean, that could be rumor. That could be just him not wanting to play in Miami. I mean, that could be it too. I mean, I think it's gone south for him. I think a change of scenery might be good for him.
Well, I think from Andy Dalton's made multiple Pro Bowls. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? So, from a Dolphin standpoint, I mean, the wheels are falling off this thing in a jiffy, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot was made. Oh, Adam Gase is going to get fired. I have to tell you, Adam Gase trading away Ajayi is the move of a GM/coach who's got a ridiculous amount of job security.
Yeah.
So I don't think that his job's in any danger at all. Again, you have to set an example. If these guys are out there. So you want to bring it back? Okay, let's bring it back to the Rangers. You want to about hockey. Their first periods have been god-awful lately.
Yep.
Right? So you got to do something.
Flyers had 3 shots in the first period against Coyotes. I mean, that's...
Fire the coach or trade somebody because nothing's going on. So you extrapolate that to Miami. The guy's not picking up blocks.
Yeah.
He's complaining about his role.
Mm-hmm.
Your team blows.
Yeah.
What do you want to... You're on your backup quarterback. Like, what do you want the guy to do? So, I don't know. I mean, again, is it a good thing for the Eagles on the field? Maybe. He's a bit of a locker room problem. I don't know that. I don't always buy into that kind of stuff though. So we'll go from there.
I think if he ends up having the good knees and everything works okay, I mean, I think he's a great pick for the Eagles.
So you talk about Brandon Gazzara talked about Andy Dalton at quarterback. How about the big deal with the Patriots and the 49ers?
Yeah, Garoppolo. I mean, going to San Francisco. I mean, the from what we've heard and what I've heard is that New England tried to get him signed as a contract, and obviously he didn't want a deal because he wants to get paid. I mean,
well, he wants to play.
Well, he wants to play, but he wants to get paid too. I mean, that's why you play, is to get paid. But in the same sense, after 3 or 4 years with the Patriots, I think he's got enough experience. He's a good enough quarterback that's going to help the 49ers out. San Francisco's got to stay the course now. They got to stay with him. They released Hoyer, and he'll probably go back to New England.
Here's the thing: it's a heavy price to pay.
It is.
But
if you see a future with him,
I agree. I agree with that. And I've said on the show, and I'll say it again, that if you find a franchise quarterback, the price you pay is irrelevant because they're the hardest thing to find in all of football. But the thing for me is, I think back to there was a lot of this hysteria around Ryan Mallett too. And then Ryan Mallett ended up in, I think, Houston, then went to Baltimore. Probably shouldn't be in the league because he sucks. But, it's a Patriots quarterback. He must be really good. Can I just say something here? If Bill Belichick calls you and says, hey, I want to trade you this guy, or I want to trade for this guy on your team, hang up the phone. The guy's going to kill you. But in this case, it's a good move for the Patriots because they're going to get basically another first-round pick. Gazzara, Brian Hoyer signed with the Pats today, 3-year deal. Not surprising at all.
3-year deal. Wow. Well, it knows the offense. I mean,
right? No, he's fine.
If Brady goes down, you're screwed anyway. So.
But you look at it from the San Fran perspective. There was speculation about Kirk Cousins going to San. Well, that's out the door. I know Andy Fetto.
One less stop on his free agent.
Andy Fetto, our 49ers correspondent, alluded to it that he thought that this might be like an 8-week trial for Garoppolo. No. I don't see that at all.
No.
Anytime you're going to invest this high of a pick in a player,
you go with him.
This is like going to be a 3-year thing.
Yep.
If not, you're going to see Shanahan fired again.
They saw enough from C.J. Beathard to say, we need somebody else in here.
I saw enough from C.J. Beathard never to watch C.J. Beathard play football again.
I think he's put in a bad situation, but that's fine.
Well, sure. Yeah. This is more about Brady and Belichick. They're going all in on the next 3 years to win another Super Bowl, and then we'll retire together. They're the favorite to win the next 3, right? Yeah. So, hell, maybe.
You got to think that one of these years Brady's going to hit the wall, though.
Yeah, but it's not now. No. It's not now, and
but the benefit of the doubt. But I think you got to semi-plan for this. You got to bring in a guy.
Well, they just
But I'm just saying, you got to draft a guy probably in the next couple of years. You got to that can sit in the wings like Garoppolo did. And if Brady starts to slip a little bit or starts to go on his way out, you have a guy ready. You're not just going to let Brady walk and leave Brian Hoyer with the keys.
I don't think Brady walks in the 3 years.
I don't know.
And again, you go. It was Mallett, and then it was Garoppolo. So they just seem to like recycle players.
Yeah.
Eventually they're gonna need one.
Who was the quarterback that was there that made a career? He left the Patriots and he made a career about jumping around and.
Oh, Matt Castle?
Matt Castle. What a snow job that was. Got a big deal in Kansas City.
It's getting a little warm in here.
Big deal in Kansas City.
For me, though, the big loser here is Kirk Cousins because if he intended to use, I'm going to fly to San Francisco as some sort of leverage, well, that went right out the door. That's not going to happen. So,
So the other trade we talked earlier with Monty about, Kelvin Benjamin going to Buffalo. And that was crazy.
I don't know what Buffalo's doing.
I think there's more. I think there's more to that in Carolina's side in the way of getting rid of him.
There's something that'll come out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, who called who?
Yeah.
Because was Kelvin Benjamin available? I mean, who would have thought?
Right.
Buffalo was just, we said before the season, I think Buffalo might make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's sure looking like it right now.
Buffalo got rid of Sammy Watkins. We thought, they were rebuilding and they're going nuts. And now here they are with Kelvin Benjamin in there.
Well, the variable there is Sammy Watkins is a terrible receiver, so they moved on. They got a price.
Yeah, he was injured.
But I'm pretty sure they got a second round pick back for him. They sent a third for Kelvin Benjamin.
Yep.
Voila.
Yeah, and then you talk about Seattle getting an offensive tackle in there.
That's huge for them.
Dwayne Brown. Absolutely.
Before we talk about the games this week, that game last week with Houston and Seattle was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And if Deshaun Watson needed a coming out party, man, did you see it right there. The guy goes into Seattle, in my opinion, one of the top 5 hardest places to play in the NFL, and he puts up 38 points on the Seahawks defense. I mean, that was a phenomenal football game. Just great. Hopefully we see a lot more of that in the future. So I know the Thursday night game, we're going to start there, is Buffalo and the Jets.
Are we talking NFL today?
NFL. We talk a little football here and there.
Okay, I thought we were doing that later date, but that's fine.
Talk a little football here and there. So the Jets and the Bills, two teams that I think a lot of people left for dead, and here they are in a Thursday night game. And maybe this is one that actually gets people to pay attention.
Probably not. But.
No, I mean the Jets played hard last week. They took the Falcons. They gave the Falcons all that the Falcons could handle. They didn't cover. I mean, actually, they covered, but they didn't win the game.
It's not a betting site, folks.
It is not a betting site.
No.
But Buffalo's interesting. Buffalo runs the ball well. Taylor's playing pretty well. To their credit, so is McCarron.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think Buffalo has a solid defense. I mean, I really do. And I think the Jets,
even trading Darius.
The Jets have some receivers. They have Kearse. They have Kelsey. Robbie Anderson. I mean, yeah, and McCown's got the experience. I just think this Buffalo defense is stifling right now. They're really playing well. You talk quick about the defense. I mean, it might be 22nd ranked, but they're not playing like a 22nd ranked team. They're playing like a top 5 team. Even though they're on the road, it's not too far away. I like the Bills in this game. I think the Bills can win this game.
Yeah. How about this? Buffalo Bills maybe 6-2. I mean, seriously.
Well,
I mean, what are you going to say about that?
We have to get Matt on the show again to talk to him about that.
You know what? We need to get. Well, who was it?
I think Matt might be stunned.
Chris, or Bills correspondent.
Oh yes,
Chris Danielson.
We'll have to get both of them on here and let them argue it out.
Chris is probably living right. Chris is.
What you got a question there?
No one will watch after last.
So we go to next year. We talk about the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans, and Houston gave Seattle all they handled for last week,
and then some.
Yep.
You know what? And if not for Russell Wilson being a super guy.
Yep. And here comes the Colts team limping in here again with no Andrew Luck again, which will probably be shut down for the year.
Fantasy.
We talk about
fantasy landmine.
We talk about Brissett.
I'd rather not.
And T.Y. Hilton's having a terrible year because nobody's throwing the ball.
A nice game last week.
Jack Doyle. Your boy Jack Doyle. This game, I like Houston in this game, just because of the defensive aspect. And Deshaun Watson keeps proving everybody wrong about the rookie aspect of him. He really looks more and more comfortable in there every week. I like the Texans in this game.
I mean, I know it's a big limb you're going out on here to picking the Texans.
I'm really hard. Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
We've said for years, if Houston found a quarterback, they have the defense to be able to take care of something. And the defense is not what it was when J.J. Watt was healthy. And I'll grant you that. But in a division where the Colts are going nowhere, the Jags are surprising a couple people, but the Titans haven't really played anywhere that well. We thought this might be the year that the hands change. It could be Houston's division to go. They might have found their quarterback.
Yep.
Everybody finds quarterbacks for Cleveland.
So the next thing we talk about Cincinnati going to Jacksonville to play those bye-week Jags that were off last week.
Number one fantasy defense.
Yeah, the Jags offense is still struggling. I mean, they got a lot of weapons there, like we always talk about. Their defense is playing solid.
So good.
Their defense is really, really good right now. And the Bengals, Andy Dalton still hasn't found his way. He's up and down all over the place. AJ Green got involved last week. Wow, I'm surprised he made the trip because he hasn't been involved at all. Joe Mixon's getting more carries.
Needs to.
Which is great. He's going to have to against this Jacksonville team that really can stop the run and can cover a little bit through the air. What a shocker. I'm taking the Jags at home. I like the Jags. And I think the A.J. McCarron thing is going to really shake them up.
The Bengals defensively, their strength is their secondaries, which really doesn't bode well for the Jags because they don't throw very well.
Yep.
I don't know what Fournette's situation is. I'm going to go into the assumption that he is playing. Obviously, that's a big part of anything that Jacksonville does offensively, but you're 110% right. They've been a revelation defensively. And you always say in the NFL, if you have a defense, you can win. Yep. And they're winning games because of their defense, shockingly. Take the Jags as well at home. I'd probably take them in Cincy, too. I like what's going on there defensively, but you know what? At some point, we'll have Princeton on the show. They got to get this offense figured out. They expect to ever go anywhere.
I agree. And the next game is we're talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to New Orleans to play the Saints.
What do you think about that?
Oh, God. I don't even want to pick this game because there's been sites I've been on that have called for Jameis Winston to be benched. Their offense is terrible right now. Yeah, I agree. Their offense isn't rolling. They have a lot of weapons. Doug Martin's playing well. You talk about Mike Evans. You talk about Deshaun Jackson. You talk about both tight ends. Their defense is really letting this team down for the Bucs. Their secondary looks awful. They can't cover me right now. T.J. Ward's not getting time. Chris Conte sucks back there. It's just a mess. And Hargraves is even their number one pick from a year ago is actually playing bad. And here come the Saints. We joked in the beginning of the year about 13-3. Our boy James down in
I think they lost 3 games.
Actually they're 2 losses. They're 5-2 right now.
You might have to go to Texas.
Yeah, so I'm not walking to Texas, but hopefully they'll drop off a little bit. But the Saints are playing well. Their defense has finally got on track a little bit. They're slowing teams down. And, to their expense, their running game is really proven. Mark Ingram and Kamara are playing well.
Everybody's played well since Peterson left.
Except Snead.
No, Snead. I don't think Snead knows where the field is.
No.
Snead's like, remember that Jersey Shore with Snooki Where's the Beach? He doesn't know where the field is. Yes, a Jersey Shore reference. That's right. GTL.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, we've always said about the Saints, if their defense can keep teams to like 20, 21, Saints are going to win a lot of those games.
Listen, I'd love to pick the Buccaneers in this game, and they need the game to keep pace with a lot of people, but I'm taking the Saints. I just think the Bucs, their defense has issues, and here's a quarterback that's going to throw all across the field, and how are you going to cover him? Especially with the secondary the way they're playing. I'm taking the Saints in this game.
Yeah, how can you not?
No.
I mean, they've just... And, last week was the first week in a long time that they won without Drew Brees throwing throwing a touchdown, which is great for the Saints. Crap for my fantasy teams, and I'll have them.
Yeah.
Saints win.
We'll talk about the L.A. Rams coming east to play those New York Giants. The Giants look dreadful. They beat Denver the other day.
What do you want them to do?
But there's really nothing they can do. Their offense is supposedly coming back. Shepard's back in the lineup now. You still have Odell Beckham out. You still have a lot of guys out. Evan Ingram, I don't think, can contribute that much to this team to the point where they're going to start winning a lot of games. And, hey, here come the Rams. I told you, my boy Jared Goff, he's actually playing pretty well. Sammy Watkins, if he can ever stay healthy out there, he'd be a great receiver. But, you got Kupp out there, so he's throwing a Kupp all the time. I like the Rams in this game, even though coming west to east, that whole factor and the defensive struggle that this game I think is going to be. I like the Rams to pull us out. I think the Giants have bailed out on this season.
I want to pick the Giants for a lot of reasons. For the reasons that, I'm not a full believer in the Rams just yet. I need to see a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that West Coast team coming east for a 1 o'clock game. I know the comment there.
No.
I can't, though. No. I can't. Dan Salmonetti, should the Giants trade for a reinstated Josh Gordon?
No.
I don't think that they can because of the trade deadline. But if he was available...
Yeah.
Still no.
That's probably why they reinstated him after the trade deadline, so nobody else can get him. Just to screw him.
The Rams should win this game, and I know it goes against a lot of things I believe in with the West Coast team coming east. But I don't think that the Giants going to score too many points here. Yep. Evan Ingram, though, I think I guess the silver lining to all of this with the injuries to the outside receivers, he's being forced into a primary role. That'll help him moving forward in the next couple of years. I think. Mm-hmm. I do think that.
Okay, talk about the Atlanta Falcons going to Carolina to play Monty and the Panthers. Well, Monty's actually not playing, but here's the Falcons team. You don't know what you get with the Falcons. Some weeks they're up, some weeks they're down. They struggled against the Bears this year. They struggled against Miami. Even lost to the Bills at home this year. Matt Ryan, he hasn't gotten Julio Jones involved. And, Mohamed Sanu, you talk about guys in this lineup that are supposed to produce. Coleman got his first touchdown 2 weeks ago. Yep. And you talk about the Panthers, what we just talked about too. Yeah. The loss of Kelvin Benjamin, I think it's going to sting them hard. You got Funchess and you got Dixon, the tight end, and you got some other guys in there. But the Panthers at home, their defense is stifling. But if this Atlanta offense can get rolling, this could be an interesting game.
They're a different team outdoors. I think they've been that case the entire time. But the Panthers are a complete mess right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not, and we mentioned earlier, it's not necessarily Kelvin Benjamin's production that they're going to miss, but it's going to be having a guy on the opposite side of the field from Devin Funchess, which opens up Devin Funchess to do what Devin Funchess is doing.
Correct.
So now that he's being relied upon to be the number one, I have my concerns there.
It's almost like when Alvin Harper got traded from Dallas to Tampa Bay, and Alvin Harper saw.
These guys, So to me, I need to see what the offense looks like now. But again, Falcons, flip a coin. What team you're going to get? Outdoors, they're not very good. It's a tough game to pick.
I am still taking the Falcons. I think the Falcons can pull this off.
I'm going to take the Falcons as well, but that's more of a pick against the Panthers than it is for the Falcons because Cam Newton's a disaster right now. The offense doesn't look very good. They're not really getting McCaffrey a lot of touches, which they wanted to. We'll see where it goes. Falcons should win the game.
So next year we talk about Denver coming east to play those Philadelphia Eagles with the new Ajayi in town. I don't know if he's going to play this week. I mean, the Eagles do have a bye week next week, so maybe keep him out, let him get used to the playbook when he's off week, and then have him come back for the last 7. And a Denver offense team comes in here. It's terrible right now. Trevor Seaman looks like he's played at a high school level.
Well, that's why he's getting benched for Brock Osweiler.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Brock Osweiler is an upgrade from him. But maybe he's more of a veteran, obviously. That's what they're looking for.
He's had some success in that offense.
You look at C.J. Anderson, you look at Thomas.
They're not running.
No, they're not. This team defensively is
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
But offensively, they're a mess right now. Maybe Osweiler could turn the corner, but the Eagles team, Carson Wentz have an MVP season. You're talking about adding another running back to this mix. Jeffrey playing well. I mean, this team's rolling on all cylinders right now for the Eagles.
If the Broncos would have any chance in this game, they got to keep it low scoring. because they can't rely on their offense.
They are going to have to turn the ball. They're going to have to get turnovers, and they're going to have to turn them into points because this offense cannot be trusted for Denver.
Well, I think the biggest, and this happens a lot with the Eagles, I think the key guy is Ertz because I think that the corners are going to do a nice job on the outside receivers because they normally do. But I think Ertz has a really, really big game here. I don't know if they're going to be able to run on him either, whether it's Blunt or whether it's Ajayi.
Right.
But having said that, can you really pick Brock Osweiler to win an NFL game right now?
No, I'm taking the Eagles in this game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle, but I just think the Eagles' offense is that much better than Denver.
Got a question coming in. Brandon Zara, who would be the MVP right now?
I know what he wants us to say.
Well, I know what he wants us to say.
I would say it's close between Watson and Wentz. I mean, I think you've got to probably say Wentz.
I wasn't really thinking about Watson. You know who I honestly feel, and I'm
Alex Smith.
That's a good one too. I think it's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing around him right now. They can't run the ball.
He struggled in the first couple of games. I think it's
but
you got to look. You got to look at full season right now. Even there's a couple games.
I hear you. Yes.
I tell you what, Alex Smith, I think is a good candidate for an MVP.
He's saying Brady.
Yeah, you could say Brady, but Brady.
Long linger going out on there, fan.
Brady struggled in the beginning too. Not to say him, but the defense did let him down a little bit. I think you could put a lot of guys in there. Alex Smith, Brady, Wentz. You could put Watson in there. Deshaun Watson, I mean, he keeps playing like this. I think he's hands-on.
Do you remember when the Texans started Tom Savage?
Oh, my God, Tom Savage, yeah. That was great. That was a good.
Bill O'Brien.
All right, so next game we're going to Baltimore Ravens against the Tennessee Titans. And did you hear about Flacco's hit last week? Yeah, he got that was
no suspension.
Cheap shot. Anyway, the Ravens come in here. I don't think Flacco is going to play in this game. I think he's still in concussion.
I haven't heard anything. I'll take your word.
No, I don't think he is. But if he doesn't play and Mallett has to get the start, this Ravens team is totally different. Obviously, not that they're a high-powered offense as it is, but Mallett doesn't exactly bring what Flacco could bring to the table. But they are running the ball well with Alex Collins. And they do have
Alex Collins.
Yep, you like that, didn't you?
Well,
I had that in me.
Well, no, I'm gonna give some credit to friend of the show Kevin Longo, who wrote in. Now we haven't talked a lot of fantasy this year, but he wrote in a couple weeks ago and said Alex Collins is going to be somebody in that Baltimore offense.
More and more carries.
Double thumbs up. It's a great call by you, Kev.
Macklin getting a little bit more involved in the offense. When you talk about Tennessee Titans, talk about Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're night and day. They get blown out one week and then they blow out somebody the following week. So I don't know what you expect from Mariota.
Isn't there a lot of the NFL this right now?
A lot of parity in the NFL this year. A lot of parity. So the Titans, I mean, what can you say about Mariota in this squad? DeMarco Murray really hasn't been heard from. Derrick Henry's playing well, running the ball good.
Yep.
I think Corey Davis is playing this week.
That would be something nice.
But he's obviously not going to get a lot of catches because he's off that injury. So I don't expect him to get a lot of play. Yeah, I'm going to take the home team, the Titans, in this game, just because. I know that Ravens team is stifling, but if they're going to have Mallett at quarterback, they're going to offensively struggle.
I'm going to give you a scenario. Super low scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens win it defensively. Because I could see that.
They could.
Because, they've thrived in spots where their offense is just not doing well.
Yeah.
The defense just, takes over the game.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough from Tennessee defensively to think they can't do anything. They might run the ball a lot.
Yep. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I have two fans of the sports. I was going back and forth on Brady. So Brady did not play well enough to beat the Jets or the Bucks. How is he the MVP? They were given those games. You want to know why? Because he's Tom freaking Brady.
No, exactly.
That's all you need to know.
Exactly.
I'm going to say that the Ravens win this game defensively. I think it's like you're talking, and I mean like a 13-10, 10-6.
I can see that.
Something just horribly boring to watch.
Yeah, I can see that.
But maybe like a pick and a run back somewhere, and they've been prone to it in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So I'll take the Ravens.
Talking about Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Boy,
must-see TV.
Boy, this should be a hoot.
Set your DVR now. Set two of them.
I would be surprised if Garoppolo does play in this game.
No.
I really don't think he'll play in this game. You talk about, Drew Stanton that's probably going to play in this game for Arizona. This should be late. So C.J. Beathard against Drew Stanton. Wow. That riveting. I feel bad for Larry Fitzgerald considering the year he's having. He's got no quarterbacks thrown to him.
The storyline of this game is the guys who aren't playing in it.
Yeah.
It's Jimmy Garoppolo. It's David Johnson, who at
Carson
this point
Palmer.
You're probably not going to see the rest of the season. Yeah. And why would you? Why would the Cardinals risk further injury to their trump card player in a lost year?
I agree.
Right? So, that was... anyway. I got to pick a winner in this game.
You do, actually. Again, you're going to go first.
Wow.
I'm not going for. I went first last
wow.
week. So go ahead,
wow. These two teams played a really tight game, in Arizona last time that they played.
You're just going to stall, aren't you?
No, I'm going to build my way to it.
Okay.
I think the Cardinals find a way to win this game, and I think the Niners have played close. They haven't played close recently, but they played close in some of these games. But I think that they're going to run the ball with AP a lot. I think it's going to be the difference in the game. The Cardinals win in another just horrifically boring game. You know, this is why people need Sunday tickets. They can turn this game off.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to take the Niners here.
That is a limb.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners. I think the home field advantage. They're juiced up a little bit. You know, you got to pick somebody in this game. I'm taking the Niners.
Okay.
Andy Fetta would love me. So the Redskins head out west to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks with Dwayne Brown now. You know, big offensive tackle he just picked up. And the Redskins, you know, struggled against the Dallas Cowboys last week. Probably should have won the game at some point, but they just can't get out of their own way sometimes.
Now, you know, what's going to be interesting here is I want to see what the Seahawks running game looks like with Dwayne Brown on the line.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the thoughts with Seattle are they're not running the ball because their offensive line is terrible, and that's going to come back to bite them.
And Eddie Lacy sucks.
He does.
Yeah.
That's,
he lost weight, too.
That's not a rumor.
No.
You know, they really miss Chris Carson. I thought he was the guy that was giving them some juice there.
Well,
As far as the game goes, I don't like picking anybody to go to Seattle and win a game. Period.
No, I'm taking Seahawks.
I don't see the Redskins flying across country. Now they're coming off 2 divisional losses.
That's okay.
So I mean, they're pretty much their season. Whatever thread it's on right now is getting destroyed.
It's tough going east to west too. So remember that. The Seattle team with Richardson, you know, Baldwin. Even their running attack might be a little bit funky. I'm not worried about because that defense is still stifling. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Seahawks win. Yep.
Kansas City at Dallas. This is a tough game for your boys. Kansas City coming in there off a Monday night drudging of Denver in Kansas City. And Alex Smith, you know what? Say what you want. He's not a flashy guy. He's not going to get you maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns every game, but he's managing the game and he's getting it done. And now, no Zeke. No Zeke. And it finally happened, folks. No Zeke.
So we'll touch on that first.
Yep.
You know as well. Now you know my stance on this.
Yep.
That they're not going to miss him the way I think people think they're going to miss him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. To their credit, and I cannot believe I'm about to say the words that are going to come out of my mouth right now. They've played well defensively the last couple games.
They have gotten
they're getting pressure on the quarterback, which has been a problem for this team since DeMarcus Ware left. But the secondary is still an issue.
Yep.
So the problem that I see for the Cowboys here, and I think this is going to be a pretty close game, is that they're not going to be able to stop Tyreek Hill from hitting those long home run shots. And that's going to be, I think, if the Chiefs are able to get quick hits, quick touchdowns, and even they might be able to do that. My concern for the Cowboys is this is now on Dak's shoulders, right? Mm-hmm. And while I will credit the man that he's played well this year, I don't know where this goes with the running game. Not that they need the running game. I think between Morris and McFadden, they'll get production enough to be okay. But, admittedly, you don't have that home run factor that Elliott gets.
I think they're going to be hurting up the middle without Sean Lee still there, not there. I mean, that hurts in itself, so Hunt's a up-the-field runner.
Well, you know, Hunt hasn't scored a touchdown in like 6 weeks or something.
That's okay, though. I think he's still running the ball pretty well. I mean, this could be a game he gets a touchdown in. But I think it's going to be a struggle for the Cowboys as well. Even though Chiefs are on the road, they're away from home. I'm taking the Chiefs in this game.
Taking the Chiefs. Something tells me that to me, I think they're going to rally around the Zeke thing.
They're going to need to win this game.
Yeah,
to catch the Eagles.
No, well, I don't know if they're going to be able to catch the Eagles. The Eagles have a lot of wins under their belts. Something tells me I think Dallas finds a way to win this game late. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a close game. Chiefs are a great team. I'll take the Cowboys.
Next thing,
At home.
The night game in the Sunday night, we're talking about the Oakland Raiders at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins who just lost Ajayi. And the Raiders, who defensively are a mess right now. This is an interesting game.
They're not really strong offensively.
Yeah,
either.
no, not offensively. I mean, they're really not getting it done. And Miami, you know, you're going to plug Drake in there. Okay, that's
Kenny
fine.
Drake, yeah.
But I still think this team has problems on defense with the Kiko Alonso issue, with the late hit, with the distraction there. This is going to be interesting. And now Oakland coming east again.
Yeah, but it's not an early game.
No, it's a late game. They're still coming east.
But they've lost a couple games in a row here.
Yes.
They got to get a win. If they're going to try to make a playoff appearance this year, they got to roll some wins up. And they're going up against a Dolphins team that's reeling right now. All kinds of crap going on. The coach is yelling at this guy, trading this guy. I mean, everything's like not.
Yeah.
You know, football is a game of rhythm and repetition and getting in your groove. There is no groove in Miami right now. So I think the Raiders are catching this Miami team at just the right time.
And I'm taking the Raiders, too. I think the Raiders can come west to east and get this done. I mean, they still have a good cast. They just got to put it together.
For sure.
And then the Monday night game, we talk about the Lions at Green Bay to play the Packers. Is Aaron Rodgers going to play? Oh, that's right. It's Brett Huntley. That's right. Okay. And the Lions, can the Lions ever get a full game together?
You know, I want to talk about the Lions for a second there. So I remember the game last week against the Steelers, I think, said a lot about the issues in Detroit.
Yep.
They had umpteen opportunities in the red zone to get touchdowns.
Yep.
They couldn't get any of them.
Nope.
They only scored 15 points. There was 5 field goals.
Yep.
And they need desperately
to get in the end zone.
A running back that can actually get in the end zone.
They need a healthy running back is what they need.
Well, yeah, but they need a bit of a... The problem, Abdullah gives you what he gives you. And so does Riddick.
Right.
But they don't really have a guy that's a bit of a thumper or anybody who can, like, with some size, get, score those close touchdowns. Yep. And Stafford, highest paid player in the league, awesome.
And he can't get you anywhere.
No.
Even though Detroit has a better, I think, attack with Golden Tate, Eric Ebron, who still hasn't shown a lot. I think I'm okay with Brett Huntley in there. I mean, he's not Rodgers, but he's got a lot of veteran receivers around him. And Ty Montgomery's back, so, I mean, they'll be fine at running back without him. They've had a week off. They've rested a little bit. I'm going to take the Packers at home. I think it's still the Lambeau thing is there. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game by any means, but I think it's going to be a sloppy game. I'm thinking the Packers.
NFC North games, they're weird. They always are. The Lions have won in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers playing, and I think that after last week, they need a win.
Yep.
They just need a win, and I know Ed Thompson agrees with me. I think the Lions find a way to win this game. I say that because I don't trust Brett Hundley at all. I really don't. Nothing that I can really put a lot of stock into. I don't know that Ty Montgomery is necessarily a good thing for their offense because that Aaron Jones has played really, really well. So for me, I don't
You're
want
doing it, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to take the Lions.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Lions. I wouldn't have necessarily if Rodgers was there healthy, but it's not out of the realm. Yeah, you're going way too far. It's not out of the realm that the Lions go in there and win a game. I think they need it more. I think there's a lot of woe is me, screw us in Green Bay right now. Brett Hundley's not the answer.
No, he's not.
If he's the answer, the question's pretty freaking hysterical.
But I think he's been there enough that he can perform okay with I mean he's not going to replace Rodgers. Obviously, they're not going to throw Rodgers and replace Rodgers with him.
No,
but I think he can get the job done. So
all right.
We will see. So we want to thank you again for watching us live on our Facebook. We will have a set schedule in place next week. We will fill you in on that and let you know what's going on. But keep an eye out for some alerts. And remember, you can always get us on social media if you need to.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching the show on Facebook tonight. You can always, if you haven't liked the show yet, like us here on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at SportsBox Show. Our YouTube channel's been a little bit light in the content lately, but we're going to get there. You can just search SportsBox and find us there. And, of course, tonight's show is brought to you by DJ Mike Velardi. Biked Up Entertainment. His game is about to start in 5 minutes at Sicklerville Applebee's, right there off of Exit 41 of the Expressway. Check him out. He'll be in Turnersville tomorrow night, 8:30 for trivia as well. It's fun. We'll see if I'm there or not. I can't make it tonight, Mike, but it's always a fun game. And if I'm not there, you have a chance to win, so enjoy it.
Wow.
Take the opportunity.
I actually heard your head get big.
Take the opportunity to win when I'm not there.
It's amazing staying with a Rangers fan here. But anyway, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters.
It's right here.
Oh, my God. It's how so right here it is? It's just, it's crazy. Thanks for watching, folks. See ya.
This episode of the Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velardi. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on the Sports Box.
1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to subscribe.